Are you tired of losing points and matches or struggling to break your opponent's rhythm? What if I told you there are simple strategies that can turn the tide in your favor? In today's video, we'll explore 8 powerful ways to force your opponent into making errors. From changing spins to taking time away from them, these tactics can help you take control of the game. Ready to outsmart your competition and force those crucial mistakes? Let's get going. In my previous video, I explained tennis is a game of errors more than winners, with statistics that prove that you get more points with forced errors than winners or unforced errors. So why not work on strategies that get us more forced errors from our opponent rather than only working on hitting winners? None of the strategies out of these 8 have the importance over the other. All of them are equally important, and you have to be able to understand your opponent's weakness and then think which ones you need to play to get those errors from them. If one element is in your favor, you get to lean into the next shot. If 2 elements are in your favor, you'll be inside the baseline. And if 3 elements are in your favor, ball is not coming back. After watching this video, ask yourself, why did your opponent miss that shot? So we start with the court and we have depth. In tennis, forcing an error from your opponent by maintaining depth in your shots during a rally is a powerful strategy. Here's how it works. Limiting the opponent's reaction time. By hitting deep shots close to the baseline, you push your opponent further back. This reduces their time to react, forcing them to rush their shots, increasing the likelihood of mistakes. Controlling court positioning. Deep shots force your opponent to play defensively from behind the baseline, which limits their ability to attack or dictate play. With less opportunity to generate power, they may hit weaker or off-balance shots, leading to errors. Creating angles and variety. Consistently deep shots can create the opportunity to switch up with shorter or angled shots, pulling your opponent out of position. This unpredictability increases their chances of mishitting or making forced errors. Reducing your opponent's ability to approach the net. By keeping your shots deep, you prevent your opponent from stepping in and taking control of the rally at the net, where they could apply pressure. When they're forced to stay back, it's harder for them to hit aggressive or well-placed shots, making them more prone to errors. Practicing depth control in rallies is key to consistently applying pressure on your opponent and winning points through forced errors. Here are a few technical and tactical drills that you can apply in your training routine to improve depth in your rallies. Deep shot practice. Players hit against the wall or with a partner, focusing on hitting the ball to the back 1/3 of the court. Use cones to mark the target area for depth. Introduce a slight topspin to control the depth better, emphasizing the low to high swing path. Depth zone drill. Divide the court into 3 zones from net to baseline. Players earn points for hitting into the furthest zone. This drill emphasizes aim and control to achieve depth. Deep rally competition. Players rally aiming to keep their shots in the deepest zone. Consecutive shots landing in the target zone score extra points. So next we have height. Changing the height of your shots during a rally can be an effective way to force errors from your opponent in tennis. Here's how this tactic works. Disrupting rhythm. By varying the height of your shots, for example, hitting low slices and high topspin shots, you break your opponent's rhythm. Consistent changes in ball trajectory make it harder for them to get into a groove, leading to mistimed strokes and errors. Forcing awkward positioning. High looping shots force your opponent to backpedal and hit from a less comfortable position, often above shoulder height. which is more difficult to control. Low skidding shots force them to bend and head up, making it challenging to generate power and precision. Reducing aggressive plays. Opponents generally prefer mid-height shots to set up aggressive strokes. By changing the height, you disrupt their ability to hit their preferred strike zone, leading to weaker or off-balance shots that are more prone to mistakes. Increasing physical and mental pressure. The continuous adjustment required to deal with different ball heights taxes your opponent's movement and concentration. This increases the likelihood of fatigue or mental lapses, resulting in forced errors. By regularly switching between high and low shots, you keep your opponent off balance, which increases the chance of an error while maintaining control over the rally. So here we have a few drills you can add in your tennis routine. High topspin practice. Players practice hitting high shots from the baseline, aiming for a marked target area deep in the opponent's court. Focus on grip change, low to high swing, and follow through. Low ball control. Drill on hitting low, skimming shots over the net from the baseline. Emphasize compact swing, slight forward lean, and making contact in front of the body. High-low game. Players rally alternating between hitting a high defensive shot and a low ground stroke. This drill emphasizes decision making on when to change the height of the shot. Height variation rally. Players engage in rallies where they must adjust the height of their shots based on the commands from the coach or a friend. Example, high, low, middle. This simulates adjusting to an opponent's varied play. So on the list, on number 3, direction. Forcing an error from an opponent in tennis by changing the direction of shots during a rally can be highly effective. Here's how it works. Breaking anticipation. Players often anticipate where the next shot will land. By changing direction, such as hitting cross court, then suddenly down the line, you disrupt your opponent's expectations, making it harder for them to react in time and increase the chance of mishit or error. Exploiting court positioning. As opponents move toward the direction of your shot, their positioning on the court becomes vulnerable. By quickly switching the direction, you can catch them off balance or out of position, forcing a weak return or error. Increased physical demand. Constantly moving an opponent side to side tires them out. As fatigue sets in, their footwork and shot accuracy decline, leading to more errors, especially if you hit into open space or catch them off guard. Targeting weaker sides. If your opponent has a weaker side, for example, a vulnerable backhand, changing directions to target that side repeatedly can increase the chances of them making mistakes under pressure. By mixing up the direction of your shots, you keep the opponent on the move and under constant pressure, making it difficult for them to execute clean, controlled strokes. This strategy not only forces errors, but also creates opportunities to take control of the rally. The drills that you can use are directional feeding drill. Coach feeds balls to various areas of the court. Players respond by hitting targets set up in opposite corners. This drill emphasizes forehand and backhand accuracy. Cross-court down-the-line drill. Players practice hitting alternating cross-court and down-the-line shots, focusing on opening their stance for cross-court and stepping into the shot for down-the-line accuracy. Call your shot rally. Before hitting each ball, players call out their intended target. Cross-court, down the line, middle. This encourages strategic thinking and improves execution under pressure. Directional control game. Players rally aiming to hit specific targets or zones as carried out by the coach. Points are awarded for accuracy and the ability to change direction effectively. So on 4, we have consistency. Forcing an error from an opponent by maintaining consistency in your shots during a rally can be highly effective in several ways. Pressure and mental fatigue. Consistently hitting solid, well placed shots forces your opponent to stay engaged in long rallies. As rallies extend, opponents often become mentally fatigued, which leads to rushed decisions, impatience, or a loss of focus, causing unforced errors. Forcing low risk plays. When you're consistently returning shots without making mistakes, your opponent may feel pressured to take higher risks to end the rally. This can cause them to go for more difficult shots, increasing the likelihood of them missing the target or hitting the ball into the net. Exploiting weaknesses. A consistent rally forces your opponent to hit more shots, eventually exposing any weaknesses in their game, such as a less reliable backhand or poor footwork. Once those weaknesses are revealed, you can keep targeting them, which often results in forced errors. Building physical fatigue. By keeping the ball in play with consistent, steady shots, you wear down your opponent physically over time. As they become tired, their technique may suffer, leading to more errors in their shots. Overall, consistency forces the opponent to either stay in long rallies and potentially make mistakes or attempt risky shots under pressure. This can turn rallies in your favor and force errors without taking unnecessary risks on your own side. Amazing drills for improving consistency. Baseline to baseline rally. Players pair up and rally from the baseline, focusing on hitting a set number of consecutive shots without errors. Start with a goal of 10 and increase as players improve. Target practice. Set up cones of markers in various parts of the court, deep, wide, and middle. Players aim for these targets during rallies to practice control and precision. Consistency under pressure. Introduce a point system where players lose points for unforced errors but gain points for hitting more than 5 shots in a row. This encourages consistency while adding a competitive edge. Movement and rally drill. One player moves the other around the court with directed shots while maintaining rally consistency. Switch roles after 2 minutes. Focus on maintaining control and accuracy while on the move. Now we can't cut the court up anymore. So then we go to the ball, and that brings spin. Using spin in tennis rallies can be a powerful way to force errors from your opponent by disrupting their rhythm and timing. Here's how spin can create mistakes. Topspin. Adding heavy topspin to your shots can cause the ball to dip quickly after it clears the net, making it difficult for your opponent to time their return. The ball's high bounce can push them back, especially if they are not comfortable hitting balls at shoulder height. This can result in mishits or weak returns, giving you the upper hand. Backspin or slice. Backspin causes the ball to stay low and skid, making it tough for your opponent to get under the ball and generate power. A well-placed slice can force your opponent to hit up on the ball, giving you an easier opportunity to attack or approach the net. Side spin. Shots with side spin can curve away from your opponent, making it harder for them to anticipate the ball's path. This can disrupt their footwork and timing, causing them to hit late or off balance, leading to errors. Varying spin. Mixing topspin, backspin, and flat shots within a rally keeps your opponent guessing, making it difficult for them to find a rhythm. The variation forces them to constantly adjust, increases the chances of them making a mistake. By incorporating spin effectively, you can manipulate the pace, height, and direction of the ball, making it more challenging for your opponent to return consistently, leading to forced errors. Let's take a look at the drills that you can add in your training. Topspin forehand and backhand drills. Players practice hitting forehands and backhands with an exaggerated low to high swing path to emphasize topspin. Use cones to mark target landing zones that encourage deep shots. Backspin or slice, controlled drill. Players alternate hitting slice forehands and backhands, focusing on a high to low swing path with a firm wrist to control the ball's trajectory and speed. Spin direction drill. Set up distinct target areas on both sides of the court. Players aim to hit topspin shots that land in one target and slice shots that land in another, working on controlling both spin and direction under semi-competitive conditions. Spin variation rally. In pairs, players rally with the goal of alternating between topspin and backhand shots. This drill encourages players to adjust their grip and swing path on the fly, enhancing their ability to use spin tactically during points. And now, everyone's favorite, power. Forcing an error from your opponent using power in a tennis rally is about overwhelming them with speed and pace. Here's how power can create mistakes. Overwhelm with speed. By hitting the ball with significant power, you reduce the amount of time your opponent has to react. The faster the ball comes at them, the harder it is for them to position themselves properly, leading to rushed or off-balance shots that can result in errors. Push opponent back. Consistent power shots can force your opponent to retreat behind the baseline. Once pushed back, they're less likely to hit aggressive or well-placed returns. This defensive position increases the chance of shorts or inaccurate shots, allowing you to dictate the rally or hit a winner. Exploit weakness. Power can expose technical flaws in your opponent's game, particularly if they struggle with handling pace. A powerful forehand or backhand aimed at their weaker side can create difficulties, causing them to mishit the ball or return a weaker shot, leading to unforced errors. Combine power with placement. Hitting powerful shots to the corners or deep into the court makes it even more difficult for your opponent to keep up. The combination of speed and precision puts immense pressure on them, making it harder to return the ball cleanly. In essence, well-timed power shots disrupt your opponent's timing, take away their comfort zone, and increase the likelihood of them making errors, giving you control of the rally. Some very important drills that you do for getting more power in your shots. Weight transfer drill. Players practice ground strokes focusing on transferring their weight from the back foot to the front foot through the shot. Emphasize the importance of this movement in generating power. Racket head speed drill. Using a stationary ball, players work on snapping their wrist at the point of contact to increase racket head speed, a key factor in powerful shots. Progress to feeding drills, where players hit moving balls with the same focus. Power target practice. Set up targets in different areas of the court. Players aim to hit these targets with powerful ground strokes, working on maintaining control and accuracy even when hitting with power. Power and recovery drill. Players execute a powerful shot followed by a quick recovery to a neutral position. This drill simulates match conditions where players need to balance power with readiness for the next shot. And the last two are related to the player himself or herself. And on 7 is court position. Forcing an error from your opponent by strategically positioning yourself on the court during a rally can apply constant pressure and disrupt their rhythm. Here's how. Occupying the offensive position. By positioning yourself inside the baseline, you signal that you are in control of the point. This makes it harder for your opponent to dictate the rally, as they'll feel pressured to hit more aggressive or risky shots, increasing their chances of making an error. Recovering to the optimal spot. After each shot, if you consistently recover to the best spot on the court, often near the middle of the baseline, you make it harder for your opponent to exploit open spaces. This forces them to hit more precise shots under pressure, which can lead to mistakes if they miscalculate angles or depth. Closing in for short balls. By moving forward when your opponent hits a short ball, you can cut off their angles and take the ball early. This not only reduces their reaction time but also forces them to hit defensive shots, increasing the likelihood of an error under pressure. Crowding the net. If you approach the net during a rally, you force your opponent to attempt passing shots or lobs. Both of these shots are more challenging to execute perfectly, especially under pressure, making errors more likely. Playing to your strengths. Position yourself to hit your strongest shot, example, forehand or backhand, and force your opponent into weaker positions. For instance, if your opponent struggles with their backhand, position yourself so that you can easily direct shots to that side, increasing their chances of making mistakes. By effectively using your court position, you not only maximize your ability to control the rally, but also increase the mental and physical pressure on your opponent, causing them to misjudge or mishit their shots. The drills that can be used here are approach and volley drill. Players practice approaching the net with an aggressive shot, approach shot, followed by a volley. Focus on split step timing and proper net positioning for volley execution. Short ball attack drill. Place markers for ideal hitting spots for short balls. Players exercise moving quickly to those spots to hit aggressive shots aimed at ending points or gaining a significant advantage. Offensive positioning game. Players rally with one player aiming to take control of points by moving forward to hit in offensive positions, including approaches and volleys. The other player focuses on defensive shots, aiming to recover and counter. Strength-based rally drill. Identify each player's strength. For example, forehand, backhand, serve. Players rally focusing on creating opportunities to use their strength. Incorporate movement drills that reinforce recovering to an optimal spot that allows them to utilize their strong shot more frequently. And the eighth one we have is time. Forcing an error by taking time away from your opponent in a tennis rally is a highly effective strategy that puts them under pressure. Here's how you can achieve this. Early ball striking. Hitting the ball early, just after it bounces, reduces your opponent's reaction time. By cutting off their ability to recover between shots, they're forced into rushed decisions, leading to unforced errors. The quicker you take the ball after its bounce, the less time they have to prepare for the next shot. Approaching the net. Coming to the net shortens the court for your opponent, forcing them to hit more precise and quicker passing shots or lobs. This increases the chance that they will miss their target due to the limited time and space to execute. Aggressive court positioning. Stepping inside the baseline to hit the ball takes away the opponent's time by eliminating the buffer they usually expect between shots. This forces them to deal with a more aggressive pace and less time to adjust their stance and swing. Power and depth. Combining deep shots with power limits the opponent's time to react effectively. If they are constantly reaching for balls or trying to defend against deep, powerful shots, they're more likely to mistime their strokes or hit out of position, leading to errors. Quick transitions. Swiftly changing from defense to offense during a point by immediately attacking after a defensive shot puts the opponent under time pressure, forcing them to scramble and make hurried lower percentage shots that increase the likelihood of errors. By consistently applying these tactics, you can take time away from your opponent, breaking their rhythm and leading them into making mistakes. Effective drills, how you can improve on this are quick depth shots. Players practice hitting deep ground strokes with minimal backswing and increased racket head speed to push opponents back quickly. Use cones to mark the deep target zones. Short angle shots drill. Focus on creating a sharp angle with forehands and backhands to pull opponents off the court, reducing their time to return to a neutral position. Emphasize compact swings and precise racket face control. On the rise drill, players hit balls on the rise immediately after the bounce to take time away from their opponent. This drill emphasizes quick positioning and early ball contact. Serve and return aggression drill. Practice aggressive serves and returns aimed at immediate putting pressure on the opponent, focusing on quick, decisive shots that limit the opponent's response time. Thanks for staying with me throughout this video. If you want to take your game even further, make sure to catch my next video, where I'll dive into deeper insights on rally length, explaining which lengths are most crucial for winning more matches and which ones might be costing you. You'll also learn what changes you can make in your training to boost your chances of winning. I'll see you in that video.